EV and you've got some tactical options, then go for it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, setting fires, launching smoke cover, you've got 3 different missile launchers on one LRM carrier. So you could put at least 2 hexes of smoke. You know?
Yeah, that's very cool.
It's cool. It's very cool.
So fires can also spread.
Yes.
Fires can spread. Okay, so basically at the start of the game you need to find out, even though you might have no wind as the wind speed and things like that, you still need to establish which direction it might potentially be going. Okay, so what it is you roll a d6, and on your map, whatever, there's all your hexes. Just pick one as 1 and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's going to be the direction that the wind is blowing, even in a no-wind situation, because smoke still travels a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Depending on how much wind, it'll more likely to spread if you've got more wind to a degree, obviously.
Yep. And
So,
you can have some fairly strong winds going depending on how far you go into the weather options.
True. But I mean, probably just for your first game, just have it as no wind on that table. So
and just have a random direction that things are going to spread.
Yeah, and that's it. And it stays like that for the whole game.
Yep.
You can do an optional rule where you roll at the start of each round to see if it changes direction. That's an optional thing, but probably for your first game I wouldn't bother. It's fine. So basically what happens is on tape, what was it, page...
Which one?
Oh, here. On page 46, there's the fire and smoke resolution sequence. We talked about, I think we mentioned it before. Who's that? It's my daughter. Thank you, Tarron.
It's nice and cold, so he's going
for the water. So basically, this is what you will do for your fire, checking for fire and the effects for it.
Yeah. So it adds 5 new steps to the end phase. If you're putting the full fire and smoke thing in there, this is what happens. Yeah. So you've got drift existing smoke clouds. So your smoke drifts with the wind, depending on how strong it is and what direction it's going and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
We'll go into that in a sec. Then you check for dissipation of existing smoke clouds. Hello, puppy. So there are rules again, we'll go into in a sec for how to check if it dissipates. Then you're checking for spread of existing fires, and that is, we'll chuck that in a sec. But basically you're just checking to see if it spreads. Then you place new smoke clouds from existing fires, including any new fires that started that turn, and then check for weather conditions extinguishing existing fires. Assuming you're using weather.
So you just got to remember, so if you start a fire in a hex, you don't have to worry about smoke straight away.
No.
It's later on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it takes until the next end phase to actually generate enough smoke to be worried about.
Yeah.
But you are spreading your fires. So when a fire is started, a check for spread is first made during the end phase of the following turn. So it'll burn for a turn, and then the next turn, end phase, you'll have to see if it spreads, and you roll your wind and spread direction as normal, but you roll a 2d6 for the adjacent hex directly downwind of the fire hex. And if you get a 9 or better, and if the hex can burn and is within 4 levels of the burning material in the original hex, then it spreads. And you count, so if it's a woods, say, that's there, then it's counted as level 2. So if something's level 6, then it's too high, right? But if it's anywhere lower than that, then it's going to be within reach of that level. Okay, so that can get very nasty very quickly, because there's very few things that are, unless you're making your own custom maps and they're pretty insane, you don't usually see things that are like 6 levels or whatever. So
no, I mean, still pretty generous though.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You also need to, so if you make that 9 or greater, then it spreads. You also roll for the 2 hexes at 60 degrees from downwind. So the remaining 2 hexes in the fire's forward arc, they say there. So it's that hex is a 9 plus. The other 2 to either side of it are 11 plus. And if it can burn and if it's within range. So you apply a +3 modifier to the target number for the adjacent hex directly downwind if the die result flammable hex directly downwind from a fire but separated from it by a non-burning hex may also catch fire. Okay. Wow, but you get a +3 modifier.
Yeah. Yeah, so in no wind, you're not really going to be doing it unless you roll it.
Oh, holy crap. Okay, yeah.
It can spread. I mean, it's fire. You know, it's assumed that it's big enough. Keep in mind that a hex is 30 meters. That's a fair whack.
Is that 30 meters to a side or is it 30 meters across? Do you know?
A side.
It's a side.
A face, yeah.
Okay, so that's quite a big area.
That's a big area.
It's a big area. So if you've got a burning hex, then you've got a non-burnable hex, and then you've got a burnable hex, you still have to make a check, but you get a +3. Hello, buddy. Feeling active today,
Yes.
are we? You were lying down so well before.
You were. Except when you bumped the camera.
Dear. All right, so you're rolling your spread, like we just said in the end phase.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1 burning hex on a jungle map can spread insanely quickly.
Yeah.
Insanely quickly. You've got a hex started up, you've got that 1 turn, and then you've got the next turn's end phase where you're checking to see if it spreads. And then each one that it spreads to, the next end phase you're checking to see if it spreads. And the next end phase you're checking to see if they spread.
Yeah.
Okay, and you can't get rid of this fire unless you put it out. Okay, so yeah.
put on your stamping boots and
Yeah. So let's have a look at what's involved in actually putting a fire out, because that could be quite important.
Yeah, I
at
think
some
so.
point. Oh dear.